But first, topping our news on this Thursday morning, Southern Californians fed up over their natural gas bills. SoCal Gas says the average bill last month was more than double the amount from 12 months prior, with many residents reporting much bigger hikes, triple. The company has already received more than 1 million calls to its customer service line this year. Our Logan Hall spoke to one of those callers, a restaurant owner in Chinatown, and he joined us. And I've tried to call into the gas company and also on the website. It's a quagmire.
Wow. It's a quagmire indeed. You're definitely not alone in those calls. The lines have been blowing up. And Judy Sen, who is the owner of Hop Woo Barbecue and Seafood. She's owned that restaurant for the last 30 years. Now, owning a restaurant can be expensive, and her bills have always been high, but she was shocked when she opened her gas bill last month and saw the price, over $13,000. For the last 30 years, Judy Sen has owned and operated Hop Woo Barbecue and Seafood in Chinatown. She opened the restaurant with her husband when they moved here from China. Her husband recently passed away, but the community of customers has helped carry her. She says she looks forward to seeing them every day.
I looking my customer coming, I very happy.
But Hop Woo is going through a troubling time. Judy is one of the many SoCal Gas customers who experienced an unusually high bill. In her case, over $13,000.
Last month, my daughter gave me see the gas bill is at 13,600 something. But I looked at gas bill, I very scared.
According to the president of consumer watchdog Jamie Court, that fear is something that's being felt across Southern California.
Especially these days with the price of eggs doubling and everything doubling, you don't have an extra $400 to pay your heating bill. So this is came at exactly the wrong time.
His organization is investigating SoCal Gas and says someone needs to pay for these high prices.
We think that there needs to be subpoenas flying to figure out who SoCal Gas bought and sold that gas to and who is making money because of that elevated price of gas.
For Judy, she says she wants to keep the restaurant open to honor the memory of her husband, but she needs relief from SoCal Gas in order to do so.
I like for help.
For help?
Yeah.
It's a hefty financial burden during an already emotionally difficult time. Now, SoCal Gas is responding to these high rates by offering a $50 credit to customers who suffered from high bills. Obviously, Seth and Giselle, that $50 does not make much of a dent in Judy's bill.
No, especially if you have it as high as $950. Thank you, but not enough, right?
You got that right.
Thank you very much, Logan. Such an important thing. People are feeling it in the pocket on top of inflation and everything else. Yeah. So joining us now to make sense of this natural gas crisis further is Jamie Court, president of Consumer Watchdog. Jamie, I'm so glad you're here. And you posed the questions that are the most pertinent right now. You said, who do they buy the gas from and who is making money? Because you know what they're saying. They bought the reserves at a cheaper price during the summer. So why are those costs being passed down to the customer if they bought them at, cheaper prices?
That's exactly the right question. We paid, just for perspective, 10 times more than the natural gas price in the east, many times more than the natural gas price in the north, and we're using the same pipes. What happened was SoCal Gas mismanaged the inventory. They had a big inventory in Aliso Canyon and other places, and they stopped drawing down from it. This is gas bought at much cheaper rates, and instead they bought on what's called the pipe, on the spot market. This is the real-time market, and that market was going up. But when they started buying on it for all of Southern California, San Diego, and L.A., it sent the price even higher. And this is a commodity. So when there's demand, the price goes up. And for about a week, a little bit more than a week, the price exploded, and they didn't use their inventories. They had ample inventories that they could have drawn down from, and that's the usual pattern. SoCal Gas will build up inventories in the spring and in the summer and the fall, and draw down in winter until it gets cheap to buy on that spot market pipe. But they bought on the pipe too early, and they didn't use their inventories, and we do not know why. We do know they have a relationship with their parent company, Sempra, and Sempra has a subsidiary that sells and buys on the spot market. Sempra and other trading companies got rich off this, and no one yet has answered the question, who are they buying that gas from, and is there a relationship between SoCal Gas and that company that enriched SoCal Gas in some way?
Egregious. Consumer exploitation.
It gets even more concerning. Their mismanagement is now costing consumers, and that's being passed along. You said that Sempra got rich. How could SoCal Gas possibly say that they're not profiting off of this?
Well, they are separate companies, and we don't know how much Sempra made off this or how much any other trading company made, because those transactions on the spot market are shielded from public view. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission can see those transactions. They actually have the ability to publish those transactions, but we can't see that far, which is why we've asked the city attorney, Heidi Soto, to investigate. She represents this area. She owes a duty to the people here to find out that answer. We also asked the Attorney General to do it as well.
That's right. Governor Newsom is investigating to see if this is, in fact, exploitation. Is that enough?
Well, he asked the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to investigate, which is different than investigating himself.
But
the
does
city
it still
attorney
matter?
asked these questions. Yeah.
Could that still make a difference?
It could make a difference if they choose to do it, but Washington's a far way away, and we need someone here who represents the people, who are elected by the people, like our city attorney, to get answers to these questions. She represents this district. This is a really clear question, and she should ask SoCal Gas, and SoCal Gas, under a subpoena, might have a duty to answer those questions, because someone got very, very rich. The total cost of this, or total value of this to whoever was trading on that spot market, was an extra $2 billion, an estimated $2 billion that was made. And that's paid by that woman in Chinatown who's got a $13,000 bill. There's no question that something needs to be done to freeze these bills while this investigation is going on.
So speaking of that woman in Chinatown and people in general who are dealing with this, is there any way that they can fight back? Is there any recourse, or do they just have to suck it up and pay?
Well, they can join this program that evens your bill out over the year, and that will even out the bill. But $13,000, and basically it evens it out into 12 equal payments rather than having a spike payment. However, it's not going to help when you have a $13,000 bill.
On top of everything else, when the inflationary prices are so difficult for so many people, and triple the bill has been such a shock, a sticker shock to so many. They're offering, as we said, a $50 rebate, but with those bills so high, it means nothing. And when you call into the utility, you're put on hold and then driven to the website. It feels like there is no recourse, and I'm sure you see a lot of this.
Yeah, and the recourse is actually for our government officials to actually get off their butt and do something. I've called for the city attorney to do something for a month, and I haven't gotten a call back. I've called for the Attorney General to do something, haven't got a call back. I got a thank you note from the California Public Utility Commission for giving them some of this information, but they haven't gotten any answers. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's not likely to respond even to the governor. So we need to know who got rich on this and what their relationship is with the SoCal Gas to clear the air here. And we can get this money back if there was manipulation on the spot market of that natural gas price, and it sure appears that way because there's no reason for a week in the end of December for the company to not use its inventories when the spot market price is higher than it's ever been, and then they pushed it even higher. So this is what's going to happen though is our bills are coming down because that spot market price came down, and people are going to try to forget about this, and we can't let them. That's the thing. The public can't let their legislators forget about this bill, and they need to get them to move in action. I'm getting really frustrated by the fact that we have this evidence and no one's moving on it.
I think a lot of people are frustrated. Jamie, we appreciate your time this morning and fighting on behalf of the everyday consumers. It's extremely important. Jamie Court, president of Consumer Watchdog, thanks for being with us.
A lot of questions to ask of the city attorney and also of the utility company, and we will be sure to follow up for you, the consumer.